نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, those are the words he used to begin with when he was talking to his companions, Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in, as it is reported by Abdullah, narrated by Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu. And Sheikh Albani rahimahullah rahmatan wasa, he wrote a risala, a small book, explaining what is called khutbatul haja. So Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu, he said that the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to teach them, علمنا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم خطبة الحاجة, that the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught them what is called khutbatul haja, or you can call it khutbatul nikah. And then he started narrating those verses. The first one is in Surah 2, Ali Imran, verse number 102. The second one is verse number 1 in Surah An-Nisa. And the last two, they are from Surah Al-Ahzab, verse number 70 and 71. And the hadith is reported by almost all the authors of the hadith books. So that's why we always begin with the same kind of words as it was reported from the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So I wanted to mention that. Somebody might ask himself, why does he always begin with those verses of the Quran? The reason is very simple. We are following the Sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, we praise Allah Azza wa Jalla, and we are grateful for this opportunity which He has provided to us to make it possible for us to gather in this blessed house of Allah, purposely for this kind of reminders, reminding ourselves about the deen of Islam, the only deen which will be allowed in front of Allah Azza wa Jalla on the day of judgment, as He says, Inna ad-dina inda Allahi al-Islam. And in another verse, وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِ غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامَ دِينًا وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِ غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. So the only religion which will be acceptable in front of Allah Azza wa Jalla is Islam, as the Quran confirms that. And in another verse, Allah Azza wa Jalla confirms that whoever will reach in front of Him through a way which is not Islam, فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ. Whatever he has won't be acceptable. وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. And he will be among those who will be doomed. Yadan billah. So we ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to give us steadfast, to make it easier for us to hold on tightly to the deen of Islam and to the Sunnah of the Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We continue to go through these ahadith. Last time we went through the hadith of Anas bin Malik radiyallahu anhu, whereby 3 people came to the wives of the Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, seeking to know how did the Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam worship his Lord. So the wives of the Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, they explained to them how the Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to do. And then after that, they vowed, they decided. One of them said, فَإِنِّي أُصَلِّي بِاللَّيْلِ أَبَدًا. I will be praying at night forever. And the second one said, أَنَا أَصُومُ الدَّهْرَ وَلَا أُفْتِرُ. I will be fasting on a daily basis. I will never break my fast. I'll be fasting for the whole year. And the third one said, أَنَا أَعْتَزِلُ النِّسَاءَ فَلَا أَتَزَوَّجُ أَبَدًا. The third one said, I'm gonna forsake women. I will never marry again. I will spend the rest of my life worshiping Allah Azza wa Jalla. So when the Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam came back, they told him about the situation. So he went to them and he said, Antum alladhina qultum kada wa kada. Are you the one who said so and so? Ama wallahi inni la akhshakum lillah wa atqakum lahu. He swear by Allah and he said, I'm the one who fear Allah Azza wa Jalla the most. Lakin asumu wa uftiru. But I fast and I break my fast. Sometimes I fast, sometimes I don't. Wa usalli wa arqud. I stand up wa usalli wa arqud. I stand up at night and then I sleep. Wa atazawwaju nisaa, and I marry wives, as we said, that the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam had his wives and plenty of them. By the time he died, he had 9 of them, right? How many were there? 9 or 11?
You always say by the time he died, he had 9.
I don't make a mistake. Huh? So the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam was so energetic, mashallah. He used to go around through his women. Simba, eh? No, it's over.
Send you a clip, did you see that?
No, which one? Huh? He was very strong, right? So, وَأَتَزَوَّجُ النِّسَاءَ, and I marry women. فَمَنْ رَغِبَ عَنْ سُنَّتِي فَلَيْسَ مِنِّي. موضع الشاهد in this hadith, فَمَنْ رَغِبَ عَنْ سُنَّتِي فَلَيْسَ مِنِّي. Whoever contradicts, whoever goes away from my sunnah, meaning that whoever does things not according to the sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, فَلَيْسَ مِنِّي, is not a part of my ummah. So this hadith is also very important in terms of glorifying the sunnah, showing us its status in Islam. Brother Abu Maryam raised some issue regarding this hadith. I tried to go through it, but I couldn't get to the bottom of it. So inshallah, I brought the books with me. Inshallah, I'll get time and I'll go through the issue and see if we can find a solution for it, inshallah. So next time, inshallah, we'll mention it, inshallah. So that is the hadith which we went through last time. So there's 2 other short hadith here which the author mentioned, and they are very important. وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم, the first one being that the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم said, تركت فيكم شيئين. تركت فيكم شيئين. I've left 2 things behind within you. 2 things I've left with you. لن تضلوا ما تمسكتم بهما. You will never be misguided so long as you hold on to those 2 things. Kitab Allah wa sunnati. So the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam is mentioning that these 2 things, the book of Allah and the sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what you have to do is to hold on steadfast to the book of Allah, you read it, you recite it, you ponder about the meaning of the verses, and then you act upon what you have read from the book. And then the Sunnah of the Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because they can't split. The Quran and the Sunnah, they always go together. And those who are holding on to that, they will never split. وَلَنْ يَتَفَرَّقَا حَتَّى يَرِدَ عَلَيَّ الْحَوْضَ. Until those who are holding on to the Sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the book and the Sunnah, they won't be separated until they find the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam at his well, whereby he will be standing there. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq and Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhuma standing beside him, giving him the cups, and the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam is providing people with water from that well. The river called Al-Kawthar. That is the river which Allah Azza wa Jalla has prepared for the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so that people can quench their thirst on that day. No one will be allowed to drink from that water except those who were following the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam and holding on tight to his Sunnah. As we all know in another hadith which is in the Sahihain, that the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam will be there, as we mentioned. Abu Bakr is on his right, Umar is on his left, and their job is to provide the cups. So all of a sudden, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam will see a group of people being led away by the angels, beating them. And then the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam will start calling them Ummati, Ummati, those are from my Ummah. Subhanallah. What do you think, how will the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam recognize those people that they are from his Ummah?
Because of the wudu they used to do.
Is it right? So the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the companions, subhanallah, they used to ask him wherever they come across something which they don't understand, they used to ask him. So they asked him, how will you recognize them out of the so many people who will be there? And he said, I will recognize them because of Qurratu al-Muhajjarin. The sun, the shining of their places, the face, the hands, and the feet. All the places whereby, when doing wudu, those places or those parts of your body will be shining on the day of judgment. So the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam will see them with that shining, and he will definitely know that these are people from my ummah. So he will cry out, my ummah, my ummah. Then angels will tell him that, Ya Muhammad, you don't know these people. Gaya wa badda. They changed things. After you left the world, after you passed away, these people, they changed things. They introduced new things. They invented things and put them into the deen as those who celebrate what?
Maulid.
Maulid. Subhanallah. It's a big fitna we have regarding Maulid. Subhanallah. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to guide us to the straight path.
Amen.
So because these people invented new things, so the angels are taking them away. They can't allow them to come closer to the river of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Where do you think they are taking them? Hellfire. Because on the day of judgment, there's only two houses. Imma ila Jannah or imma ila Nar. You either go to paradise or you go to hell. So if you can't be allowed to drink from the water of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam from his fountain, then what else do you think you will get? So we don't know how long Allah Azza wa Jalla is gonna keep them there. Except those who were doing this bid'ah mukaffira. But those who participate in this normal bid'ah, what's the matter? Tabugan? Mapigano ya nini?
And the Kauthar. Maulidi.
Except bid'ah.
It's gone.
Can you say except bid'ah something?
No, he said they won't stay there. We don't know how long they will stay there.
No. Then he say except
You know,
bid'ah something.
one day, Allah Azza wa Jalla informed the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam when is Laylatul Qadr. So he was so happy for that information. So he decided to come and tell the companions when is Laylatul Qadr. And on his way, he found Tawfiq and the Mufti fighting. And Allah Azza wa Jalla took away the information. He couldn't remember. So, Jazakallah khair.
So we are the
Very
example.
bad. Fighting is very bad. Eh?
But he reminded you.
Eh?
I reminded you.
Did you?
Yes, you said there is a except bid'ah mukaffar,
No.
something like that. That's where you stopped.
Anyway,
How long are they going to stay in the fire? For those bid'ah, except bid'ah kafara.
Yeah.
So you don't know how long the bid'ah kafara is forbidden.
no, those who have been doing bid'ah mukaffara, they will stay there forever. Except those who are doing this. What is bid'ah mukaffara? What is kufr? What is kufr? The things which are introduced in the deen, and those who are doing them, they become kuffar. For example, that Mawlid itself, they used to have something called Qiyam in it. What is Qiyam?
Welcoming the Prophet.
Unasikia, eh? So they used to make a way. They stand up and make a way, believing that the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he comes and be part of that celebration. That is what is called Qiyam. There is some masajid. I don't know, I don't think you have them here, but in London we have them. They have a seat in that masjid. You can't sit in there. They say that that is the seat for the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He comes and sits in it. So if you believe in that, by all means you're out of Islam. So you have to be very careful. The only solution is to stick to what is authenticated from the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Taraktu fiikum shay'aini." I've left two things for you. Lan tadillu. Lan. That lan is definitely, you can never be misguided. Lan tadillu ma tamassaktum bihima. So long as you hold on tight to those two things, Kitab Allah wa Sunnati. That's the only solution, and it's the salvation. This narration is reported by Imam al-Hakim, wal-Bazzar, wal-Daraqutni, wal-Bayhaqi fi Sunnah, and you will find it in Sahih al-JAMIL, authenticated by Sheikh Albani, rahimahullah, rahmatan wasi'ah. The second hadith, وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم من سن في الإسلام سنة حسنة فعمل بها بعده كتب له مثل أجر من عمل بها ولا ينقص من أجورهم شيء. Whoever introduces or whoever does something good in Islam, فَعُمِلَ بِهَا بَعْدَهُ, and people follow into his footsteps, كُتِبَ لَهُ مِثْلُ أَجْرِ مَنْ عَمِلَ بِهَا. It will be written for him the reward of each and every person who follows him in his footsteps. وَلَا يَنْقُصُ مِنْ أُجُورِهِمْ شَيْءٌ, and there won't be any decrease in the reward for each person who follows into his footsteps. Who can give us an example?
First we have to clear that statement. First we have to clear that statement before any examples can come.
Maybe the examples will help us.
You meant to retrieve Sunnah.
Tarawih. Salatul Tarawih.
Salat Tarawih.
Yeah, it's a kind of it's holding Khatab show gather everyone in the one behind one imam.
You know, as Abu Maryam said, these Ahlul Bidah, they use that hadith to introduce things in this deen. That the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Man sanna fil Islam sunnatan hasana. There is sunnatan hasana which you can introduce. And then they also use, the brother said, Salatul Tarawih. They also use the hadith of Umar ibn al-Khattab when he said, Ni'm al-bidah hadihi. Subhanallah. They say you can do, there's not every bidah is bad, there is bidah hasan. Don't you see? Umar said it. That hadith is in Sahih Muslim. That's the problem. So the entirety of the hadith, because it's a long hadith, whereby a group of people came. فجاء قوم حفاة عراة مجتابي النمار. A group of people came from somewhere to come to the messenger and came to the messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So they didn't have anything. They were barefooted. They didn't have shoes. They didn't have enough clothes. So when the messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam looked at them, he felt bad. So he called on to his companions so that they can provide something given in charity, so that he can provide for these people. But when the messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam called them, nobody answered him. He called them again. And then the messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam recited some verses of the Quran. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة. O you people, fear Allah, the one who created you from one person. We all came from Adam. To the end of the verse. And then he recited another one. اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله. Fear Allah Azza wa Jalla and prepare for what will help you tomorrow. واتقوا الله, and fear Allah Azza wa Jalla. So when he recited those verses, people were still sitting there. So one companion stood up and rushed home and brought everything he could bring. تصدق الرجل من ديناره من درهمه من ثوبه من صاع بره من صاع تمره. So everybody, when they saw this companion of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so they all went and brought whatever they can. People brought clothes, people brought food, dates, everything. So after that, then the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man sanna fil Islam sunnatan hasana falahu ajruha wa ajru man amila biha ba'dahu min ghayri an yanqusa min ujurihim shay'un." So the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because of the action of this Ansari person, he said, whoever starts something new, whoever sets a good precedent in Islam, something which is going to help the Muslims, there is a reward for him for this act of goodness. And the reward of that also who acted according to it subsequently, without any deduction from their rewards. And the opposite of it, وَمَنْ سَنَّ فِي الْإِسْلَامِ سُنَّةً سَيِّئَةً. Whoever introduces something bad, كَانَ عَلَيْهِ وِزْرُهَا وَوِزْرُ مَنْ عَمِلَ بِهَا مِنْ بَعْدِهِ مِنْ غَيْرِ أَنْ يَنْقُصَ مِنْ أَوْزَارِهِمْ شَيْءٌ. So the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the opposite of it. The one who sets in Islam an evil president, something evil, there is upon him the burden of that. He's rewarded. He's rewarded for that bad thing which he has introduced, and he also has a burden of each and everybody who acted upon it subsequently without any deduction from their burden. So this hadith, it means reviving something which is known in Islam. Reviving, not introducing something new which is not known from the time of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as the Ahlul Bidah says. They said somebody introduced Mawlid because it's something good, so we have to follow it. So this is reviving. This is reviving. So this Answar, he went and brought something. It wasn't something new, because the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam had already taught them the good of those who gives in charity. Not to introduce something new which is not known from the time of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam or from the companions of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Is that clear, brothers?
No.
So give me examples now.
Like
Abu Mari, I've cleared the statement, yeah? Haven't I?
No, no.
So I want examples.
the two adhanas after on Juma day.
Huh?
The two adhanas on the day of the Juma.
Is that Sunnah? Huh? Let me finish with him. Is that Sunnah?
No.
You changed your mind now?
No.
Is he right? How?
Before we did it, now people are not doing it. So just forget the
Sunnah mahjura, eh? The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, wherever he saw rain coming, he used to go out, and even he used to roll up his sleeves so that rain can touch his body. That is the Sunnah which is forgotten completely. So if you do it and people see you doing it and then they follow you, you get the reward of reviving that Sunnah and the reward from those people who have followed you in your footsteps regarding that issue. What else?
Sheikh, what if I know that is Sunnah?
You are asking a question or you are giving us
It's
an
a
example?
question.
Questions later.
It's regarding the same.
Questions later. I want an example.
In the bed before going to sleep.
Who will see you doing that? Yes, but who is going to see that and follow you?
You
There's something which is in front of us, but we can't mention it. Huh?
I think in the worshiping, keeping sutra, which is also regarded as major.
Yes, but there's something which is more. Yes, Tawfiq.
Should I say removing shoes in the graveyards when you're burying?
Yes, that is a sunnah, and that is very important. So many people, you go to graveyards and you walk between the graves with your shoes. I've only seen a few people, very few people, who remove their shoes. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam forbade us to go into the maqbara and go within the graves with our shoes. He saw somebody with his shoes and he called him, Ya sahibu say, what is it called? This is a different name. Ya sahibu sabtayi. I think that's it. I forgot the name of that, the type of the shoes he was wearing. So the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam called him and told him to remove his shoes. But for us, when you remove your shoes, they start looking at you, thinking that this is strange. SubhanAllah. These days, this zaman, as Sheikh Mashur Hassan said, when he was talking about straightening the rows in the masjid, and he said, these days, when you try to put your foot next to the foot of your brother, he will look at you as if what you are doing is bid'ah. SubhanAllah. That's exactly what is happening now. So, very good, that example, very good. Brothers, when you go to graveyard, remove your shoes. You don't lose anything. And you are going to be rewarded for that. Why? Because you are reviving the sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You are doing this because you are following the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's exactly what we are trying to learn here. Remove your shoes.
Sometimes the surface is not good.
Where I come from, there's people who never had shoes. They walk everywhere barefooted. Are you better than that?
That's the forgotten sunnah.
Also, that is a sunnah. Walking barefooted with your foot. Sometimes, ahyan, you remove your shoes, you remove everything and you walk. It's a sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sometimes, not always, sometimes. But those people, they're poor.
But they don't even do it. But they do know they're wearing. They do know they're not wearing shoes. But then they don't know they're doing sunnah. Is that correct?
Ask Abu Maryam. So when you say that some graveyards, they are